Hey guys, welcome to a new video. Today we are going to be learning to make a platformer in Scratch. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make a new sprite. To make the sprite, you're going to want to zoom all the way in, because I'm sure many people, I'm like many people, and not having the best art skills. So I find it easiest to do simple stuff like what I'm doing currently. And you'll probably notice that I've gone outside the box a bit, but that's pretty easy to fix. You just want to do this, and voila, there it is. So now, you want to just make a sprite. I'm making mine like this. If you're great at sprite making, I make mine like this because it's really easy to make the rest of the sprite now, because now I can just do it like this. And then I can go like, and yeah. Okay, so now I want to fill that in, and let's draw in black. And so this is our sprite. So next thing we want to do is events. When flag is clicked, set size to 250%. That's why I made it so small, because I found that 250 works really well. Makes it about that size. Actually, it makes it that size exactly if you did it like exactly as I did. And now what you want to do is make a variable. You want to make two variables actually, gravity and velocity y, because y is the up and down axis. The y-axis goes up and down, the x-axis goes left and right. And this is the y-axis. This is adding, well, as I'm sure you've figured out, gravity to our game. So, now, you're going to want, the first thing you want to do is set velocity y to 0 and set gravity to 0. Now, you want to, I make my levels the color black, so I'm just going to use that currently. In fact, I am going to go in and do that right now. So scripts, just make a very simple little level. Drawing a new level is very easy with my method. All you have to do is something like, let's just make the first level like this. And there. Voila. First level created. So now that we have our first level, we will make it larger by doing this. Take this, and as you can see, the bottom and top corners of this, draw it up to the very top. Expand it a bit in both directions right now, just to make it easier to expand when we go all the way out to here. Now you want to take each side and drag it right down to the bottom. Now you want to take these and do the same with those. And voila, level created. So let's just say this is our level. I know it's not perfect, but let's just say it's our level for now. First, now what we want to do is go into the scripts of the sprite. And set velocity y. So now you want to make a forever, and then two if statements, put them in right next to each other, one after the other, and do if not touching the color black is the first one. So if not touching color black, and then if touching color black. If you're using a different color for your levels, you set it to that color. I'm just using black. So now, the next thing you want to do is you want to take the if touching color black, you want to set, you want to do control, and you want to set, oh, you actually want to set the gravity to negative 0.3. So now, change, okay, so you want to, where is it? I just need to find it. Set Y2 and put that down here. Now, you want to, if not touching color Y, you want to set Y to velocity Y, first of all. Now, you want to set velocity Y to gravity, so gravity plus velocity Y, which basically sets velocity Y to gravity, but it says it mathematically, which the programming understands more and glitches out, and so it glitches out less. So now, let's just say it did this. And if touching color black, set velocity Y to 0. So, as you can see, the velocity Y is slowly going up because it's negative 0.3, but as you can see, it is falling. So, if you want to make it go faster, which it should be moving much faster than this, actually. This is weird. Okay, so, oh wait, it's change Y by velocity Y, not set Y2. That is a very big thing that you have to make sure you do right. See, as you can see, when you do that, it will fall pretty quickly. If you want to speed it up or slow it down, all you have to do is go in and change this. Let's change it to -3. And now if we do that, the thing is much faster. Of course, the reason you want to do, actually, I prefer the number -0.1, and it might actually, in 0.01, actually works better sometimes. So as you can see, its speed increases if it falls from a higher height. So, as you can see, yeah, which makes for very interesting things. Now, so I generally set my gravity to I set it to -0.3. I find that is a very good setting to keep it at. It's not too fast, it's not too slow. It works very well. You can also set it to, if touching ground, it will do this. If touching the sprite ground, which is this sprite's name, it will also work like that. Watch. Watch. So now I go into this, and if I change this and this to if, let me change this real quick. If not touching ground, and if touching ground, it works pretty much exactly the same, if not slightly better. In fact, you should probably just use that rather than the touching color. So if touching ground, it will stop. So there. Now the next thing we want to do is make it so that you can move back and forth, so left and right, so on the x-axis. So the way we do that is first of all, you want to change this to player, and so what you're gonna want to do is very simple, actually. It's all you have to do is control data. So events, cancel. So you want to go to player, you want to go to events, and you want to add a new when flag is clicked. Now you want to make a forever block, because forever blocks are always needed in pretty much everything you want to do, unless it's stuff that only happens when you first start. But forever blocks basically mean it will go on forever and ever. And so you put if statements inside so that it will do that. So now what you want to do is put in an if statement. Actually, I believe we're going to need two if statements again, and go into data and create the variable velocity x. Or you can set it to just whatever you want. Just make sure you know which one's which. So velocity x. So set velocity x to 0. If key A, or one of the, I'm just going to use the arrows actually, so if key right arrow is pressed, then chain, and I'm actually just going to duplicate this real quick and set this to the left arrow. Actually, yeah. So now what you want to do is change velocity x by 1, and change velocity x by, this one is actually, let's see, so yeah, this one's -1. So actually you want the right arrow to be -1 and that one to be 1, and then you want to go into motion and change x by velocity x. So now when you because my velocity x is currently equaling 14, and I just got it back down to 0 because I pressed it in the right way. Now, we're not going to want that, but I did notice something. You actually want -1 to be the left arrow and normal 1 to be the right arrow. So now, when you do this, so it moves back and forth, as you can see. So now what you want to do is slowly set velocity x to velocity x times, I'm just going to use 0.5 in this thing, so basically this makes it so that it'll slow down as you move. So velocity x times 0.5. So now when we do this, it will you're probably going to want a higher number than 1, like maybe 5 and -5, because 1 is very slow. And so now you will notice that when you use the keys, you'll move back and forth, but when you stop, it will stop, which is the goal of this. So now you can move back and forth, and when you move up, you will fall. So let's just check the time on this real quick. And this video has been going on for, never mind, I don't need to know. So now you want to move back and forth real quick, like this. So now that we know this, so now what we want to do is, an issue is, I can do this. I can go inside my wall. And there's not much you can do about this except actually going in to the costumes of the ground and changing the color of part of the wall. So all of your left and right walls you will want to. So you will see what I'm doing in a second. Because obviously you want to still be able to move back and forth, but when you hit a wall you want to stop. So what you want to do here is you want to go into this wall and change the outer edge to a dark gray or any color, but I'm using dark gray. And you just want to go down the side and make sure that the side has all dark gray on it. And you can go back and erase any mistakes you've made later. But, so for right now, you just want to do all dark gray down the side. And so this is just to show you, so I'm not being super careful. Generally, I'm a lot more careful when I'm doing this, but today, the goal of this is really just to get to the end of the video, and so that you guys will know how to make a pretty good platformer with pretty good physics. It's not the greatest thing in the world, it's not the worst thing in the world, and it's better than not knowing how. So basically what we did that back there is we made it so that the way the variables work, if you don't know, if you do know, then I feel bad for you for having to listen to the sound of my voice, but otherwise, I'm guessing if you're watching this tutorial, you probably don't know. So, the way those variables work is, well, I'll show you in 1 second. I'll show you how it all works in 1 second. Basically, what's going on is, if you understood it already, just skip past this part until I continue on to the next part, but I'm going to explain it to those who don't know so that they can always do it themselves. Basically, how it works is the variables are set to a certain thing, a certain number, and those numbers will affect the other parts of the program. So, for example, when the if not touching ground, set velocity y to gravity plus velocity y. This is so that my gravity isn't changing. Otherwise, you could just use gravity for this, but you want your gravity to be a constant so that it won't be different when, say, you have... So it won't be different if you have, say, gone down twice, because then it might be a very different speed. So this basically allows velocity y to take in that place. And if you're touching the ground, velocity y sets to 0. So now, change y by velocity y basically says you're changing what's on the y-axis by velocity y. So when you fall, it's not actually the velocity. It's actually just velocity y affecting the y-axis through the change y by velocity y programming block. And same basic idea down here with the, except it's on the velocity x and moving left and right. So now that I've got that done, you're going to want to go into scripts, and you're going to want to say, put a large if statement around those two. If, and set this to if, and you still want to just take these out for now. If, and you're going to want to set sensing to not touching color. Not touching color. And then you're going to want to set it to that gray or whatever other color you decide to use. So as you can see, I have the little gray part right there. If not touching color. And then duplicate the touching color part. And now you want to make another if statement. And put that below here and set that to if touching color gray. And you're going to want to just put that below that. So you're just going to very simply set velocity x to velocity x times -1. So velocity x right here times -1, which basically sets it to the opposite so that if you touch the color gray, it will bounce you away. Or get you stuck at least. It should bounce you away though. Of course, sometimes things can be glitchy if you, say, have something that's too large. So I'm just going to go back real quick and shrink this a little. So I'm just going to go from here. And if you ever need to do this, this is the easiest way to do it. And I'm just going to cover all of this. And now I'm going to shrink it a bit. And I am going to move to here. And now, basically now what's going on is I can make this a thicker line of gray. A much thicker line of gray, in fact. And you don't really want to take the time to fill this in. You just want to draw it up and then use the fill tool. And yeah, see how much thicker that is. And now you just want to do this on these. And so now you have this, and now you can go out and bring this back up to size. So I'm just going to do it like this. So let's just pretend that that's the correct size. And yeah, and now we can go in and erase that. So costumes and the eraser, and it's pretty easy to erase things. Let's set the eraser width to about this. And obviously you're going to want a much more fine-tuned version of all of this. And you can, so now, let's press the flag, and when I move, it should bounce you back. So scripts, player, not touching gray, and if touching color gray. Oh wait, no, you don't even need to do that. You don't need the if not touching color gray. That's where I went wrong. That's not even required. You can just say if touching color gray, then do this. And so now, let's just move you back over here, start the program. See how I'm bouncing? Obviously I'm on the wrong side. There are glitchy ways to get through this, but overall it works pretty well as a system. This is a pretty rough system. Basically it will velocity times 0. Maybe rather than bouncing back, I should just make it so that you just stop. And now you can't escape, so yeah, that did not end well. So times negative 4. So this will multiply your velocity times negative 4, bouncing you really far back. No more issues. Yep. And you can mess around with this until you find something that really works. So this is a surefire way to make sure you don't go through walls. Because now, boom, 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 boom. Nothing's stopping us. So, yeah, now you've got a very basic idea for a platformer. But there's one thing we still need, and that is a way to jump. Because right now I'm stuck here. I can go back and forth, and if I end up here at the beginning, I will fall. As you just saw, I will fall. But I can't jump back up. I can't get over obstacles. And that is a major issue, because I need to be able to get over my obstacles. So, how we fix this? Well, it's actually not too difficult. It's going to require another if flag is clicked, another forever, and another if statement. Wow, I think I see a connection. Yeah, a lot of things need if statements, and a lot of things need to be trapped in forever things. And it's just easier if you have everything all separated out, because it allows you to see the different parts of your program. And it makes it easier to make sure that different things won't get meshed all up together and stuck together. So, now we need to do if key, and obviously this is going to be the up arrow, of course, because, I mean, what else would it be? If the key up arrow is pressed, set velocity y2, and generally velocity y is a negative, because set velocity y to velocity y plus gravity. So what you do is you simply set velocity y. In fact, you just kind of want to put this right here. That works, should work too. Set velocity y to velocity. So set velocity y to no, wait. Change velocity y by blank, so I'm just going to set it to 1. And somehow I forgot to change it to velocity y. And now, obviously, it went straight up and got stuck in a block. So that would be a surefire way to, if you wanted to fly, like, seriously, look, I believe I can fly. Like, if you want to fly, go right ahead with this. But you're actually going to want to set velocity y to a number. So I'm going to set velocity y to 1. And so now, and somehow it set itself back to velocity x. So let's set you back to velocity y. Set velocity y2. Sorry, I forgot to do this. It's actually, you want to do velocity y plus the number that you want to do. So if I wanted to add 1, so I'm going to do velocity y plus 2, actually. So now, and to take away the magical ability to fly, actually no, this does have to be a separate thing. No, it doesn't. Yeah, this is working. So, if you want to be able to jump, simply set it to this, but then what you want to do is add a wait this long before you can do it again. So wait 1 second. So that means that every 1 second you'll be able to jump. Or, yeah. This should have worked. Sorry, let me check this. I actually had a program with a very good one. And this, I'm actually going to show you what we're going to make at the end of this entire process. Save. And I'm going to save this as teach. Now, this is a game I've been working on for a while now, and you are going to see the end of it. This is what I'm saying about it being a 2-part project. And just give it a second. No, don't save because I already saved you. Now, so this is my game. As you can see, it is a very simple platformer currently, but because of that extra thing, it will work perfectly fine. And this is a platformer that... So yeah, this is basically what we're going for, but what I need to check here is the space key. What happens when I press space? That's right, because of that thing. Anyway, set Y to Y position plus 10. Does it seem to work? Yeah, it does, but that might just be some weird little thing. Anyway, let's go find teach. It should be right up here. Here you are. So, in teach, if key up arrow is pressed, sorry, I was doing this wrong. Set Y2, Y position, plus 10. And so now, you always want to clean this up. Clean up. Makes it much easier to do all your programming stuff. And here it is. So now, obviously plus 10 is a very large jump. But it does have an end eventually. This also makes it so that when you jump in mid-air, your jump is much less. But I'm going to bring this down to 1, but this is how you... And so this is jumping at 1. So now what you want to do is set this to like 5. And obviously you can experiment around this yourself, but... So 5 is a very nice jump. It's pretty perfect, actually. And you can actually use this to make wall jumps. Interesting fact. Okay. So yeah, if you have a thing, then you will be able to jump off of that. Going up. And that is it for today's episode. You learned how to make a very basic platformer, which allows you to go back and forth. Up has a gravity system, and yeah, and you can wall jump. Very basic. When and if I do another episode, it will be showing you how to do that, how to add levels, so add more levels to what we already have, because as you saw earlier, I had more levels. Add a button-like system, and add hazards, and finally, add my favorite little thing, which I actually encountered by accident as a little glitch in my program and became the main function of that game I was showing you, how to make a game with a hopping character. So I'll see you guys later, and bye.